Old. Awesome. All right. Again, welcome in. This is the North Carolina Community Health Worker Association recertification Q&A session. I am joined by my team, Tanya Harper, Lupe Avalos, Victoria Ramsewer, and Dulce Ortiz. All from the North Carolina Community Health Worker Association. And we've got some information for you. We know that several of you will be applying for recertification, and we have gotten lots of questions about contact hours, what the process is going to look like. And we are committed to making sure that as community health workers, you all have the necessary tools and information you need to be able to walk through this process smoothly. So with that being said, I am going to invite Tanya to share slides at this time. And we have just a couple of slides, and then we are going to move into a Q&A session, which is going to be most important for us because we certainly want to hear from all of you, what questions you have, how we can continue to support you all in this process. All right, so here's what's up. Recertification. We started this process just a few years ago, back in 2021, or was that 2022? 2021, 22? Oh my goodness, I'm looking at 22. I'm looking at Tanya's face. 2022, my how time flies. So that means that because certification is good for 3 years, we have lots of CHWs, again, who's coming up for recertification. We've gotten lots of questions, so we want to make sure that we can provide answers to those questions. Okay. Contact hours. Tanya, do you want to take this one?
Sure, we can do that. Yeah, thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. So nice to be here. Please feel free to flag me if I start speaking too quickly. So for each of the recertifications, there is a certain number of contact hours that are required. We really want to focus on those today that are CHW1 or those that have completed their certification through the completion of the standardized core competency training, because that's the group that's going to come up on recertification the soonest. So as Honey said, we started this in 2022. The first community health worker in North Carolina was certified on April 1st of 2022. So it is our,
yeah. I see a comment in the chat that they can't hear us.
Oh,
I want to double check if we can make sure that we're speaking loudly. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'll speak a little bit more loudly and let me know. Just yell at me if you can't hear me. So the first community health worker was certified in 2022, as Honey said. And so we are coming up on our 2-year anniversary. And so the first CHWs to need to apply for recertification will need to do so before April 1st of 2025. And so the group that developed the standardized core competency training and that worked on the advanced levels also identified the framework for our contact hours. And so this is what the framework currently is. So contact hours are any of those hours that you might be contributing to continuing education in your role as a community health worker. We intentionally left it very broad so that there would be many options for community health workers to complete their hours. But for that first level, the one that I mentioned, the CHW1 that has completed either through SCCT or those that at a later date would have completed through Legacy Track, there's 24 hours that are required. And you'll see that we have different categories for those requirements. Again, we have intentionally left it really broad. So that first one That first category is the only one that has a very specific criteria. So we're asking for CHWs to complete a minimum of 5 hours in ethics and equity. The rest of the hours, so the 19 other hours that would need to be completed for those CHWs at level 1, can be completed in any of those 3 categories. So either in traditional education, through lived experience and on-the-job training, or through CHW workforce activities. And I'll give you some examples from each category. So traditional education would be those that you might receive in the classroom, or perhaps you sign up for one of the training webinars or collaborative sessions with our partners over at the area health education centers. Lived experience or on-the-job training, that one again is really broad. And so you will have an open field to be able to enter how you may have completed hours there. And then that category 3, CHW workforce activities. One example that may count towards this would be our advocacy day that's coming up, working with the association on any pieces, and attending any specialty advanced trainings. You'll notice that the C3 core roles and competencies is referenced in each of these areas. If you're not familiar with those, there is the link and we can drop it in the chat so that you can review what those expectations are from the C3 project. Any questions about that? What did I miss, y'all, on our team?
Tanya, I think you've nailed it. And I am pulling up the C3 project right now to drop into the chat. Here it is right here for CHWs who may not be aware. The C3 project really sets national standards for us as a workforce. They are currently in the process of changing their name to the National Council on Community Health Worker Core Consensus Standards. So this is really critical for us as a workforce, leaning on those national standards and how we operate within North Carolina. So this is a great resource for you as community health workers. If you have questions about where we as a state get our information from, this is backbone information for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, honey. And I'll just touch on for our other levels, CHW 2, 3, and 4. The first CHW to need to become recertified in those levels would start in the January of 2026. So you have a little bit of time to start gathering your contact hours if you fall in any of those categories. And I will go ahead and move to the next slide, and I'll just let you know how to do this. So how to complete your contact hours and how to submit those for the association. So the first thing that you can start doing if you haven't already is completing those contact hours. So what you would like to do is go ahead and complete those. And then you're going to go into our membership platform to enter those contact hours. You are not required to be a member. We'd love to have you if you would like to join and be a member and collaborate with other CHWs through that platform, but it's not required for you to enter your contact hours. You will start to be able to do that starting in July of this year, but you can start working on your contact hours at any time. When you go in to enter your contact hours, there's going to be a brief application, and then there's a $50 fee for recertification. You'll be working with Victoria, who's on here. She's our certification specialist, and she will fill in any information that you need throughout the process, and then you'll be able to be recertified. And I just wanted you'll see at the bottom, I say also an option is to apply for an advanced level. If you haven't had a chance yet, please review the criteria for advanced levels on our website. You can apply for that at any time. And if you decided that, you've been a CHW1 for a couple of years, you'd like to apply for an advanced level, you can do that. And then you would start as a new applicant. So you wouldn't be required to complete those contact hours, but you would complete the application for advanced certification. And I just think that for many of you that have been CHWs for many years and have been working in this area, you are likely would qualify for one of those advanced levels. Okay, so that is all the slides that we have. Just want to, Honey, do you want to shout out to our partners?
I can. Guys, as community health workers, we need the support of our allies to do this work. And the folks that you see here on the screen on this slide, they are very much our allies, have stood alongside of us to do this work, to elevate the work of community health workers. So we are so grateful for their support as we continue to move forward in this process. So thank you. And okay, I think that's all for slides. So now let's get to, and there it is right there. Thank you. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it all. I do see a couple of questions in the chat. Feel welcome to drop those questions into the chat. The first question is from Lutisha. And Lutisha asks, are the contact hours from the date we completed? And Lutisha, if I understand you correctly, contact hours start from the date you are certified. Okay, so today is April 25th. If I became certified today on April 25th, anything I completed before today would not count towards recertification. So it has to be the day of your last certification moving forward. Okay, and then and please chime in here, Lutisha. Feel welcome to come off mute or drop the comments into the chat if we did not answer that correctly.
I think I understood what you meant, because I was one of the first ones that when I went to Gaston College to get my certification, and so I guess I won't have to certify until 2025. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
So anything after what it was, I can't even remember, 2016, I guess. Any of those hours would count.
Right. So anything you got before 2022, when we started certification, anything before the date. So on your certificate that you got from the association, there is a date that says when you got your certification. So anything before that date will not count.
Okay. I got you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I also had a direct question from Kelvin, who asks, do you have to enter your hours all at once, or can you enter them as you earn them over the 3 years? That is an excellent question. Kelvin, yes, you can certainly add them as you obtain them. That is actually what we would recommend to make sure that we're keeping up with those as you move through. We also encourage CHWs to try to get, it's 24 hours over a 3-year period. We encourage CHWs to split those 24 hours across the 3 years to make sure that we're getting a variety of contact hours, a variety of education exposure over the 3 years. I also see a hand up from, is it Sergi? Did I say your name correctly? Please feel welcome to come off mute.
Yes, thank you. It's correct. And well, I was typing my question actually, but I can ask it. This the continuous education hours, do they need to be accredited by somebody like American Medical Association, whatever, or do they need to be specifically accredited for community health workers, or do you accept any kind of continuing education?
Yeah, excellent question, Sergi. At this point, at this time, we are not requiring any kind of accrediting body for those contact hours. And I'll tell you why. Because for a lot of community health workers, this is the first time we've had to secure contact hours. So we want to make sure this is as accessible as possible. We don't want there to be many hurdles or many barriers for our CHWs. We want to make this as smooth as possible. So if you are able to get contact hours, and part of this too is community health workers work in a variety of spaces, and we want to make sure that as CHWs, you have autonomy and flexibility in getting education that is specific for you in your area of practice. So we really want to try to keep this as broad as possible. I will say that may change in the future, but and when that does happen, we will certainly make an announcement. But for now, no kind of accreditation is required.
Right, thank you. Just one question, and it's probably not for everybody, but I'm also a certified healthcare interpreter. So, and we have many trainings in medical terminology. Will those be accepted for continuing education?
I think so. Yes, as absolutely. One of the things that we are really trying to align here for our CHWs, if you take a look at the C3 project, right, that link that we dropped into the chat earlier, based on the C3, which is national standards for us, there is a list of core competencies that as community health workers is central to our practice. In the future, what we are hoping to see is that the contact hours that are pursued by CHWs match those core competencies that have been outlined for us through those national standards. All right, Sergi, any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, awesome. You're welcome. The next question is, John is asking, if you pay for membership, do you also have to pay for certification? The answer to that is yes, because these are two separate things. Membership is $60 per year, and certification is $50 when you apply and $50 when you recertify. And I'm Tanya or Lupe or Victoria or Dulce, if you see questions in the chat, please feel welcome to address them. I'm moving a little bit slow on this side. I don't want to miss anybody.
And I think, honey, I've answered most of the questions in the chat, except for a question from Angie about what kind of receipt or proof do we need to show for the contact hours?
Yeah, great question. Most of the time, when you complete education, the entity will give you a certificate of completion. And on that certificate of completion, it will designate a certain number of hours. That certificate of completion is what we will need to see, is what you will need to upload into the system for us to see. And if there are any questions about any of that, please feel welcome to reach out to us. We are happy to support you through all of that. What am I missing, team? Linda Thomas, did you have a question?
I do. How are you all this afternoon?
I'm fantastic.
My question is, I work with men and women that come out of incarceration, and that's one of the things that really drew me to wanting to be a peer support. So I've been doing some classes through by Coastal Horizon, and also doing some with Patty that does the classes as well whenever she has them online. So I wanted to ask, I also completed the mental health first aid class. Would those hours count as well?
Yes, Linda, correct. Those hours will count. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I see a question in the chat from Earl. How do I find my level and what do I need to do to maintain my hours? So Earl, if you will look on your certificate should have the level of that you have certified at. If there are questions about that, Victoria is our credentialing know-it-all. So she is our credentialing subject matter expert, and you can certainly reach out to Victoria and she will guide you through that. Tanya had showed at the beginning on the slides the number of hours that's needed for each level. For today, we are focused on CHWs level 1. For CHWs level 1, CHWs will need to obtain 24 contact hours of education. Okay.
I have a question.
I see a hand up from, I'm going to go to Gwen Arnold, who has a hand up.
Hi, honey. Thank you. I got a little confused when you were talking about the certification and the membership fees. So when I originally finished my training in 21, I went and put in my membership, and that was one of the steps. And so last year or earlier this year, I went to look to see how to renew, and I couldn't find it on the website. So I think you just said that it's two separate things, that I need to renew my membership as well as do my recertification by April 2025.
Gwen, yes. So I want to clarify here. Membership and recertification are two separate things. Okay. So if you were certified last year, we had the first round of community health workers who became certified. So their recertification is coming up in a year. That's because certification is good for 3 years, right? We just actually launched membership not too long ago. Membership for the association is $60. Certification and recertification is $50. So yes, two separate things.
All right. And is there a way to renew your membership on the website? Because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, there is. So if you just got membership, a membership is good for 1 year. So you won't have to renew your membership until you come up. And usually, team, correct me if I'm wrong here, but usually the system will spit out an email, right? So Tanya, I see Tanya shaking her head. The system will spit out an email that will come to you to say, hey, your membership's getting ready to expire. And that's when you would renew your membership. And yes, you can do that on the membership portal as well.
Thank you.
You are most welcome, Gwen.
I'm happy to assist you, Gwen. Just reach out and give me a call, and I'll let you know the status of like expiration date and everything. I'm happy to guide you through and help you.
Okay, thank you, Victoria.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Kimberly, yes, please.
So I have a two-part question. So my first question is, will the association be able to provide any continuing education hours to assist the CHW in the certification process, such as ethical training? Second part of my question is, I guess more towards Victoria. Will we be mailing this in, or will we be I guess sending through the mail, or can we send it through the computer? Are these contact hours and
Yeah.
certificates?
So I'm gonna jump in here, Kimberly, and I'm gonna talk about our contact hours first, and then I'm gonna pass to Victoria to talk about the process. So we have partnered with North Carolina AHEC, and I see the note in the chat from Sergi about North Carolina AHEC CHW Specialty Training Program contact hours. Yes, absolutely, 100% yes, because we've worked really closely with North Carolina AHEC to develop contact hour opportunities that are low to no cost. All right. There are also other areas that you can find opportunities for contact hours. For example, if you came to the summit, to our summit last year, we offered contact hours at every single one of those sessions. Through the community college system, there are also contact hour opportunities for CHWs that are pretty low to no cost. Any kind of webinars, a lot of times webinars are free. If when we talk about, so Kimberly, when we talk about ethics and or equity, because we are looking for 5 hours in ethics and or equity, those can be found in a variety of spaces. I know that, for example, the CDC and some of our partners at the federal level have offered some webinar trainings that offer contact hours for health equity. Okay, so anything like that would absolutely count towards your hours. All right, and then also, as we're moving forward in all of this, as we have developed at the association, we're always looking for ways to offer opportunities for community health workers to get contact hours. For example, and this is still in development, so please be patient with us. We have lots of colleagues, lots of partners and allies who have conducted some research around CHW integration, around CHW effectiveness, and we are working with them to develop or conduct webinars where they can present what their findings are back to community health workers. And those webinars will definitely have contact hours tied to what we deliver to CHWs as well. And then Victoria, please, I welcome you to talk about the process and what that looks like, whether that's mail or email.
Okay, Ms. Kimberly, what was your question? Was it on uploading? How will you provide those documents? At
Yes,
the time
ma'am.
of recertification, you'll submit that information. And Tanya, I need to lean on Tanya. This is all new to me as well.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, you're right, Victoria. So it will be entered in the same way that we do our applications. So you may, especially for those of you that completed completed the applications early. We had the original application process was managed by the University of North Carolina, Pembroke. And they were great partners in getting that started. We now have the process and it continues to be electronically. And so you'll go in, there will be a link for an application. You'll enter your information. You'll be able to upload a PDF or an image to verify your contact hours. So it'll be really similar to what the original application process was like. We also mentioned that we do offer options for those that would like to mail. So if anyone would like to mail anything to verify, they can reach out to Victoria and she'll help them do that.
So it's pretty much like the same process as the
Mhm.
first application. Will this application for recertification, that'll begin like next year since nobody expires until that time, or will this be ready?
So this will be ready on July 15th. The portal will be ready for them to start submitting hours. So I think that somebody asked earlier about whether they can start submitting hours as they are earned. And starting July 15th, you will be able to start submitting hours as they are earned.
Thank you all. That was very helpful. I appreciate it.
I was curious
Could you-
if everyone knew if they had a profile or not to go in and look. Because some people that I've talked to over the phone, they don't know that they have a profile. So I was curious if anybody that came here today has ever checked their profile out.
Well, since I asked the question, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay.
No, ma'am.
So
Are
Victoria, would it be helpful if we showed them that really quick?
Please.
Okay.
It would be to me.
Okay. Victoria, do you want to do that, or do you want one of us to do it?
one of y'all, if you don't mind. I got a lot of going on over here.
Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Are you guys ready? Okay. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. Stay with me for just a second. Okay. All right. Can everybody see my Google screen? All right. So what you're going to do is you are going to, in the toolbar, type www.nccchwa.org. That's our website. There it is there. You're going to go over here. So I'm going to show you a couple of things, okay? Training and resources, the training and resources tab, if you click on this and you scroll down, here's all of the different schools that offer our curriculum. These are the core competencies that we were talking about earlier. And if you scroll to the bottom, there is a link. You see here, training offered through NCAHEC. You can click on this link and it will, and I'm going to open it in a new tab. It will take you directly over to NCAHEC's website so you can see exactly all of the different trainings that have been developed by AHEC in partnership with us. Okay, so there's that. When we click on certification, we scroll down. Here's all of the information about the different levels of certification. Here is a beautiful chart that Tanya put together for us that explains all of the different requirements that's needed at each level. So again, today we are looking at CHW level 1. So we're looking at these top two right here, whether that's through SCCT or Legacy Track. And then you've got your steps for certification right here. And you can click on here to apply for the different levels All right, and then here's recertification here. There's information about it here. To see where you are in the portal, you're going to click join. And when I click join, now it might look a little bit different for me, okay? I'm going to scroll down and you can click on join today if you are a new member, or for me, I'm going to click log in. And then y'all don't look at my password, okay? But I'm going to click log in. And when I log in, this is what I see. This is my profile right here. This is our membership portal. So when you pay for membership, this is where you will come into the membership portal. It says, welcome, honey. That's me. We've got events going on over here, upcoming information here. So on this portal, this is the portal that you will use to upload all of your information. And we've got different things here that are available just to our members. Okay.
Honey, where's the renew button?
It's not here yet. It's not here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, correct. Yes. But it's going to be the same steps you're going to take, but it's not here just yet. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see your faces. Okay, was that helpful, guys?
Very, thank you so much.
Okay, good, good, good. Perfect.
So I have a quick question. This is Crystal.
Yes.
When I originally got my certification, there was no no information about like the renewal and everything. Everything was just being put together. I'm one of the individuals that went through the program where the other organization was doing all the paperwork, paid for the certificate and everything. So I haven't had any contact with anyone other than getting the email since 2021, and my address changed. So I'm just wondering, like, because of that, do you know how many hours I actually need, and how do I get everything switched over to my new address, and that way I keep up with everything?
Yeah, absolutely, Crystal. So to get your address and everything switched over, please reach out to Victoria. She can certainly walk you through what's needed. And then again, if you look at your certificate, and if you don't have that information, Victoria can get that for you. But based on the date that you certified, we're going to be looking at 24 hours, 24 contact hours since the date that you certified for recertification.
And I was going to say, Crystal, I don't want to say your name. Is it Crystal?
Yes.
I was going to say that y'all are able to go in and make those updates in your own profile, but I'm happy to help you. Just reach out to me, email or call me. I can do it as well, but y'all do have access to make updates as well. And I believe that you are limited to some things. If you aren't a member, you're not going to see everything in there. And you want to make sure that you're subscribed to get some information as well.
Can you give me your email and your phone number, please?
Yes, I'll put it in the chat.
I can't see that chat stuff. I don't know what's going on. That's why I asked you.
I'll email you then. I pulled you right up as you were talking. I'll email you.
Okay, you have my email?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I see Letitia, Sergi, is your hand up from before, or did you have another question?
No, I'm not sure if it's up somewhere, but I just wrote a question about Texas health steps. I mean, they seem to have like a great selection of continuing education hours, and you can specifically select community health worker training on the filtering. So if you, I mean, if you can take a look like it looks like a great resource, but basically that's all.
Excellent. Thank you, Sergi, for that tip. Fantastic. Lutisha, you've got your hand up, my friend.
Yes. So in order to see everything, you have to become a member, or you have to become a member to upload and recertify. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, ma'am, no. So while we would love for you to become a member, because there are certain things that are offered to members as members of the association, you do not have to be a member to be able to become certified or to recertify. That is the portal that we are going to use to be able to submit the information for recertification. But no, you do not have to be a member.
And I think I missed the portal to upload things as I do my training.
Yeah. And again, as you are walking through this process, if you guys get stuck, if you have questions, please, please, please reach out to us and let us know. We are happy to walk you guys through, make sure that you can get everything that you need.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Gloria, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I've been a community health worker for over 5 years, and I've taken a lot of courses and training. So I guess I fall under the advanced because I have been checking and no colleges near me. I'm in Greensboro, giving the training and course. So how do I get the information to going through the advanced certification?
Yeah, Gloria. So the good news here is you actually don't need to go to a college if you want to apply for advanced levels. You just come to our website and click on the apply button and submit your application through our website for advanced levels.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. Yay.
Please give me a call, Gloria.
Okay.
Excellent questions, guys. What else? What else you guys got?
I'm just happy everything is up and running now.
Crystal, us too. and listen, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank all of you for being patient with our team. As we've never done this before. This is all new for us. As much as it is new for CHWs, it's new for our team as well as we're walking through this process. So thank you all for continuing to be patient with us. We are all learning this entire process together. I know that we're going to have questions. So as you guys are moving through this process, I say this 100 times and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Nothing is ever written in stone for us. We believe in continuous quality improvement. So if there are processes as you're walking through this, if you see something that could be better, if something works really well, if something doesn't work really well, we need you to tell us, okay? We need you to tell us so that we know that we're moving in the right direction and that everything is user-friendly. We want to make sure that you all as community health workers are able to access and navigate through our process as easily as possible, okay? So thank you guys for trusting us and for being patient with us. And John, I see your comment in the chat about the pesos. I wish we could accept pesos, but we can't. All right. Any other questions, guys, or comments?
I'm wondering, sometimes when I take courses, it says, do you want contact hours or do you want CEUs? And through most of the educational institutions, they'll allow me to check both. But I think there are some that say you have to pick one or the other. I'm wondering if that's important. Should I worry? How do I help?
Mary, excellent question. This is such a good question. Thank you so much for asking this. Okay, CHWs, listen up. There is a lot of conversation about CEUs versus contact hours, okay? We, as an association, decided to pursue contact hours because it's a one-to-one match. 1 hour equals 1 hour equals 1 hour, all right? For CEUs, that's not the case. I believe the math on that is like 0.1 CEU, so for us, we use the term contact hours as opposed to CEUs, right? Thank you, because like 1 CEU, so 0.1, like you'll see that in a lot of cases where it's like 0.1 CEUs. We did not want to confuse our CHWs because, again, for a lot of CHWs, this is a new process and we want to make sure that it's easily understood as much as possible. Thank you for that, Sergi, in the chat. So 1 contact hour equals 1 contact hour for the association, for CHWs. All right, guys, how we doing? Any other questions?
One other thing, the membership fee is annually, or is that every 3 years also?
Correct. The membership fee is annual.
Hey, honey, this is Angelique.
Hi,
I have
Angelique.
a question. Hey, when we first did it, and Pembroke paid for everything for us, and so is there going to be a scholarship to assist with paying these fees?
We are working on that, Angelique. I will be really honest with you, we have a small scholarship fund. So we're always looking for funders to think about how we can continue to support CHWs. There is a small scholarship fund. We don't have a lot in there, but if there are CHWs who are experiencing financial hardship, please reach out to us. We will find a way, okay? We will find a way. We never want CHWs to feel like they can't get what they need because of financial hardship. We will find a way to support you. So if there are questions about, or if there's a barrier with financial hardships, please reach out to us.
I'm also wondering if there is a list of different like educational institutions that you'll accept contact hours from.
Yeah, Mary, we are working on that right now. So there is going to be an application process for institutions right now. What we have been doing is kind of approving institutions on a case-by-case basis based on what they're doing. So for example, I got a call from one of our community-based organizations who was going to be providing mental health first aid for their CHWs and reached out and said, can we offer contact hours for our CHWs? And, of course, my answer is yes, absolutely. But at this point, it is a case-by-case basis, just because we don't quite yet have that structure flushed out. So we are going to be working on an application process for providers of contact or providers of education. That way it's going to be super streamlined and it will be made available on our website. We're very close to finishing that right now. So this is very timely, which is why we wanted to make sure that we got ahead of all of this. and had this information available for our CHWs? Thank you for that question. Sergi, what's up?
Yes, well, just a comment, since as I said that I'm also a certified healthcare interpreter, so just a suggestion, the Certification Commission for Healthcare Interpreter, they manage it like you said, so they have accreditation for specific courses or classes, but they also accept any continuing education that is accredited for healthcare providers. And the reason for that, because, you know, the healthcare interpreting is very broad, the same way as basically community health working is very broad. So they accept whatever is accredited for healthcare providers because it has to do with what we do as interpreters. And also, I think it most of the time it has a lot to do with what healthcare workers do. So my suggestion would be like, you know, not to close your selection of approved classes to only whatever, you know, is approved by your association, but like to accept something that is basically accredited for healthcare providers because of the way community health care, like community health workers work. So I think it's very relevant, and it should not be, you know, just discarded because it's not approved. For instance, like, I don't know, like Stanford University has a lot of free continuing medical education, but they are only approved like by American Medical Association, like nursing and probably social worker or something like that. They might not be specifically approved for community health workers. So that's basically a suggestion like to consider if you would.
Yeah, thank you for that, Sergi. I appreciate that. You're 100% correct. We don't want to limit what our community health workers are able to secure in terms of contact hours. Again, because CHWs work in a variety of spaces, we want to make sure that we're flexible as much as possible. That way, CHWs have the autonomy to secure what is really needed for their area of practice. So I appreciate that, Sergi. Thank you. Okay, friends, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. We have 2 minutes left in our time together. Any other final thoughts or questions before we wrap up?
Can I get somebody to email me the information?
Say that one more time, Angelique.
Can I get someone to email me contact information if I have any questions?
Yes.
Because I'm working, I'm out in the field, so I can't write anything down.
Okay, that's we will reach out to you, Angelique. We'll Victoria will reach out to you. Thank you. You got that, Victoria? Yes. Okay, she's nodding. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, friends, you all are amazing. We hope that this Q&A session was helpful. Again, we are here to support you. Please reach out and let us know if there are questions or concerns. We want to make sure that you have what you need to be able to walk through this process. Shout out to our interpreters who have done such a wonderful job. Shout out to the North Carolina CHW Association team. I'm so appreciative for all of you. And we will see you next time. Thank you.
Oh, I think if I just saw Earl raise his hand.